respected speaker and also recognized as an international ambassador of peace. And he is Mr. Prem Rawat. And welcome to the program, Mr. Rawat.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. And as I stated at the beginning of the program, Mr. Rawat, you generally recognized as a highly respected international speaker. And the subject that you speak to audiences around the world is regarding peace. And we're going to start off the program today by asking you a very fundamental question. What is peace and what does it mean to you?
Well, it's very important to understand what is peace.
Yes.
And I would rather that it is my message that is more important than I am. But in today's culture, we look at all the problems. And we say, well, we've got this problem, and so how do we solve this problem? But we're not dealing with the reality, we're dealing with symptoms.
All right.
And because there is a lack of peace, or even to say for the pure discussion, there is lack of something that is causing all these problems around the world.
Okay.
We have wars. We have just a disconnect of one human being from another human being, where people are not caring about each other. I mean, when you fundamentally look at it, that is so anti-life. At least one species would care about the other one,
yes,
you know, just to help each other, if nothing else.
Right.
So then the question becomes, well, what is missing? What is the problem?
Okay.
You know, we have all the symptoms, and so we're trying to deal with, okay, well, let's take care of this symptom, let's take care of this symptom.
All right.
But fundamentally, what is the issue? And when you start looking at the fundamentals, you realize the fundamental issue is that we are not in contact with ourselves.
All right.
So being in contact with ourselves, being in touch with our own selves, brings about that simple feeling. It's called the feeling of peace.
Okay.
Now, throughout the history, starting from Socrates, he has said, know thyself. But a lot of people don't understand. They debate what he meant, rather than to say, let's understand what he meant, not debate what he meant. That within each one of us as human beings, there is a fundamental feeling, and it is the feeling of being in peace, of being content, of understanding, of clarity. And if those things are missing in a person, that person is incomplete. That person is not capable of responding even to other people like he should respond, or he wants to respond, because he doesn't know where he is.
Okay.
It's like a bunch of people who know where they want to go, but they don't know where they are. No, where they are. First thing is, when you look at a map, destination.
Yes.
But you have to know, where are you?
Okay.
You know, you go into super malls or supermarkets or whatever, and they have that picture of, okay, this is on this floor, this is, but then they say, you are here. Because only by knowing you are here can you say, now I know how to navigate from here
to there,
to here.
Right.
But if all I know is this, where I want to go, but I don't know where I am, then how am I going to get there? You know, there are so many people who use GPS.
Yes.
What does GPS show you?
Okay. Different routes to get to your destination.
All GPS actually figures out is where you are. Then there's software that figures out what your destination should be or where you want to go. You tell it, and it figures out the route. But the GPS, actually, all it ever tells you is your present position.
Okay. But there are people watching our program right now that, Mr. Rawat, people will ask, how would I know if I am at personal peace with myself? You know, if I know this is the position I'm, you know, now, then I would know how to get there, like you said. But how would I know?
This is a very good question. This is a very good question.
Yes.
Because in our world,
Yeah.
everything becomes a piece of paper. Everything. Now you are qualified So somebody hands you a piece of paper and says, now you know what you need to know.
Yes.
Do you ever ask yourself, do I really know what I need to know?
Of course.
And this is what being in touch with yourself becomes.
Yes.
To say, do I feel in peace? Not that somebody has come along and said, yes, you have taken a 6-month course.
Okay.
Not that you have done this, you have done this, you have visited this holy place, you have been with, this holy person, and so therefore now you must be in peace. No. It's like eating food.
Okay.
When you eat food, who tells you your hunger is gone?
Yourself.
You do. And that's how you need to be in touch with yourself.
Okay.
That you tell, not waiting for somebody, this is my 7th plate, am I full yet? You can't have this in this world.
No.
But this is what we have become. Somebody comes along and tells us, you have had enough.
Okay.
Somebody says, no, you haven't had enough. Please order more. Please do this. Please do that.
All right.
That is leaving behind you.
Okay. But let me ask you, Mr. Rawat, how did you, get involved with delivering this message of peace? Under what circumstances? I learned from your bio that you started, when you were very young, and you picked up where your late father passed away. That you sort of pick up, the plateau and move forward with it. And under what circumstances that you became interested?
My first speech that I gave, I was 4 years old.
4 years old?
Yes.
Okay, and do you remember what the speech was?
Actually, I do remember,
okay,
because it was published in a magazine.
Okay.
And so not too long ago when I was in India, I was actually looking through it. And it was very interesting because, yes, it talked about peace. It talked about being human.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I wasn't looking like I'm going to be taking over, or I'm going to be doing this, or I'm going to be doing that. At 4 years age, you cannot even project to say when I am 43, I'll still be doing this.
Okay.
So it was just a moment that I have something to say, that there is something fundamental to all human beings. We all want to be content. We all want to be happy.
Okay.
And this is fundamental. This is my desire. That's the desire of everyone.
All right.
What are we doing to achieve that? We have institutions to achieve higher education. We have institutions to launch us into this space. But what are we doing for ourselves, to understand ourselves, to have a better understanding of ourselves?
All right.
And so far I could see is that there was a lot of drama in the world, but no clear voice that was coming out and saying, hey, what you're looking for is within you.
All right, but you had that realization.
I had that understanding.
Yeah.
Yes, I had
4
that
or 5 at the age. All right. And how many countries have you been to since you first started in, I believe, the year 1971, travel internationally?
Well, I'm very proud to say that my message goes out to 120 countries, people who are interested. And, that is a very, very difficult number to nail down.
Okay.
And the reason is because it is so much based on just volunteers, people who get excited about the message and they take it to another country,
Exactly.
that it is very, very difficult to say how many countries this is in.
Okay.
Because volunteers are just taking it every single day, crossing the borders, taking the message and saying, hey, listen to this.
And there's internet now, so a lot of people might
Absolutely.
have,
There's a lot of
listened to your
excitement about this message.
All right. But, this is, we were talking before the taping started. This is your 18th time in Taiwan and the second trip to Hualien. What is your impression of Taiwan over the last, 18 times? Has there been some changes noticeably, or has, some of the things stayed the same?
Well, when I go from one country to other country, I have to focus on one thing. Just one thing.
All right.
Which is just the human beings.
People.
Yes. I don't want to see a group of people with a big label on their head saying, I belong to this country. No, you belong to planet Earth.
Okay.
And you're a human being. And hopefully, your needs are the same as mine. So therefore, when I come from my need, asking you something or offering you something, that it will be universally accepted. Rather than, okay, this is valid in this country, but it's not valid in this country. You see, the borders are made by us.
Of course.
And the divisions. We are not uniting, we are dividing. Well, everything human beings do, they have an incredible capacity to divide. When it comes to unite, it's incredibly problematic.
Yes.
And you have to ask yourself, how come? You know, how come? Because leave people alone, will they help each other? Yes, they will help each other. Leave people alone, what do they want? They want to live in peace.
Yes.
Leave people alone, they want to be happy. But so many people are trying, and where is the effort going? Is it really going into those things that people want it to go to? So when I come to a country, and I've seen a lot of changes in Taiwan. Really have. I mean, this was...
It could go on for hours. Yes.
I couldn't believe the amount of progress that has taken place.
Good.
But then I see all the progress, and I want to know, does that progress also go down to every single human being?
All right. Mr. Rawat, sorry for interrupting you at the end of the first segment, but you were talking about over the last 18 trips to Taiwan that you've seen a lot of progress in terms of infrastructure upgrading, in terms of economic development and growth. And how about the people?
Well, that's what's really important to me.
To you.
I mean, you know, anybody can come up with incredible
tall buildings,
anything. But what is being done to allow people to be in touch with themselves? The progress for people, I mean, the thing is, that's where the progress really needs to happen. First, if the progress happens at the people level, then I don't really care where the progress goes, it's fine. But if everybody's just shooting for the moon and Mars, and nobody's shooting for the people are still hungry, that people their needs are not being met, then I see a division. You know, I like technology. I really like gadgets, I like technology, I like progress, I like all those things. But I also see that if the progress is not in the people, then something is incomplete, that the picture is not perfect.
And among all the audiences that you have spoken to, who are some of it? What's the typical profile? Are people successful that come to you and listen to you and find inner peace, or people in need of help that they come to you and listen to Mr. Rawat's speech and discover their inner strength and regain the sense of self-confidence?
Well, anybody who will lend me a year, I'm thankful.
Okay, good.
So far I'm concerned, whoever is sitting there, whatever their situation may be, they've made the time and effort to come and hear me, so I'm very thankful to them.
Okay.
But I think, we make these distinctions, that peace is, people who are in dire need are looking for peace.
All right.
That's not true.
No.
That is just not true. No. I think human beings are looking for peace. And I think more divisions we create in people. Oh, you are rich. Oh, you are poor. You're educated. You're uneducated. You're this. You're that. The worst, we're making our own situation worse. We're not helping each other. We need to just look at people as people. And peace is a requirement, in my opinion, fundamental requirement for every single human being. It doesn't matter who you are.
No.
Just because you have climbed the ladder of success, try telling that to death. Don't come and get me because I have climbed the ladder of success. Well, that's not true.
No.
Disease. Does that look at, oh, you are really, really well off, so I won't come and touch you? That's not true.
No.
Sorrow. Does sorrow look at wealth? Does sorrow look at an address?
No.
Oh, you live at this apartment building? Sorry, I'll exempt you. It doesn't. Happiness. Does that look at an address? That look at anything? No. I have seen children playing on the streets in some countries who may not even have shoes or clothes on, but they've got the biggest smile on their faces.
Yes.
And in the same way, peace is like that. It does not look at those boundaries that we look at. It doesn't identify with it.
Artificial.
Yes, they are produced by us.
Yes. But let me ask you, do they come to you seeking inner peace, or do they come to you seeking a solution to their problems, if they have problems? For example, do they come to you saying that, hey, Mr. Rawat, my career is not going very well, and then, I have very little self-respect. And then after listening to you, of course, I get the boost in morale, but I want to know, after talking with you, maybe 10 days or a month later, I can still feel confident, upbeat about the future. What do you say to them?
I say to them very, very clearly, I'm very honest about that.
Okay.
If you're looking for a boost in your career,
yeah.
I may not be able to help you. But if you're looking for a boost in yourself,
okay,
I might be able to help you.
Okay. All right.
I make the distinction very clear. I'm not here to pretend, oh yeah, listen to me and I'll make you a millionaire.
No.
Well, I wish I could say that, but I can't because that's not true.
You won't. Yes.
Every human being has the potential.
Yes.
The question is, do they recognize that potential?
Okay.
And one of the potentials that they have is to be in peace. Do they recognize that potential or not?
All right. And let's talk about some of the speeches that you have given in very important places around the world. For example, the European Parliament. You have given speeches there twice, and they were sponsored by the first Vice President of European Parliament, EP, I have it down in my notes, Gianni Patella, yes. And then your message was pledge to peace. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about the speech itself and the occasion?
Well, it was an effort and the recognition by European Parliament of some of the fundamental things that I just talked about.
Okay.
That people are important, that people need peace, not the systems and the institutions. They will come later. But to recognize the effort, the fundamental effort of all human beings towards wanting peace on this planet Earth.
Okay.
And this, at least in my opinion, this was the effort to recognize that and to motivate people. And there was a signing of Pledge for Peace, that people will be motivated and move more towards that goal. That instead of, because the focus is so much on all the other things and not on peace. So this was really opening up a whole another door to these people, these world leaders, to say and to come and invite them and say, look, there is a whole world and there is a whole need that is not being addressed, and it is the need for peace.
Yes.
And and so it was a really beautiful occasion, a very touching ceremony that happened, and it was very beautiful.
And Mr. Rawat, you have also been recognized and received many awards. For example, in the year 2012, you were given the Lifetime Achievement Award in the International Hall of Fame for the Asia Pacific Brand Foundation, the Brands Laureate, International Hall of Fame. And besides you, there were other international statesmen and also important people that have received the recognition, including the former the President of Austria and also the former U.S. Secretary of State, Ms. Hillary Clinton. And what do all these recognitions and awards mean to you? And do they give you additional responsibility in terms of delivering this message of peace to people, or does it give you the opportunity to reach out to even more people who are really in search of their inner peace?
Well, first of all, when I receive an award, and I've received many awards when I first came to the West, I started receiving these awards. I don't see that these awards are for me. They're really recognizing every single person who is interested in peace.
All right.
That's what I think it is.
All right.
Because who am I? I am just one more person in the whole chain. And so by recognizing me, and I can say, well, I'm flattered, and I am, but it's not about me.
No.
It's about my message. My message is many times bigger than I am.
Okay.
My message will last. It has echoed throughout history. And it will go way beyond this physical body. And so these awards are for those champions of peace who have been, who are, and who will be.
Okay, continue to do so.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Prem Rawat Foundation, which of course was set up by you, and they help to fund your work and also provide humanitarian assistance to many needy people around the world. And tell us a little bit about what are some of the programs available in the foundation. What kind of services do you offer to people in need around the world?
The Prem Rawat Foundation was created by me because I saw a big gap. People wanted to help people, but at the same time didn't really understand how to bring about that help. You know, there is a thing, and it's called pride.
Yes.
You cannot take away human pride.
Oh.
A lot of institutions try to offer help, but they're not understanding what it is like for those people who need help. Yes, they need help, but they will not ask for it. Why? Because they're too proud. We wanted to go to these people on a very, very basic level and provide them help, the kind of help that would truly help them. Not the foundation, but them. And so we looked at one area in India, in Ranchi. And there was all these children, and they were in dire straits. They truly were. In fact, situation had gotten so bad that they were actually robbing food from rats. As rats make their nest in the central chamber, and the rats deposit food there, they would go and dig up that, and they would eat. And so what we did is we came in, and we set up a Food for People program. And in this program, we provided them food that they would be having if they had that possibility open to them. So it was local food. It wasn't chocolate bars. It wasn't all the other stuff. It was food that they are used to. And by bringing that, we changed the entire map of the place. And we gave them the responsibility to manage it. Not us, but them. And let their chiefs come in and take care of that management. And subsequently what has happened, it is fascinating.
I can imagine.
The crime rate dropped. 1 meal a day, 1 meal a day made all the difference in their lives. Not only for the first time, the children actually started graduating from school and going to college.
That's wonderful.
And all of this, 1 meal, just 1 meal a day. But it is cooked under circumstances that would be proud at the best restaurant. It is super clean. No flies, no this, no that. Everybody wears masks, wears gloves for serving. I mean, it is impeccable. And we were able to bring that change. What happened? Their health improved. You know?
The standard of living also improved.
Everything. Everything. And it was fascinating to just be a witness to this.
Mr. Rawat, we were talking in the previous segment about the Food for People program. And you mentioned the example in India. But not only in India, we also have indigenous children, in Taiwan that are beneficiary of the program. Can you tell us a little more details about the programs that are available in Taiwan to the indigenous families and their children?
On many occasions, the Prem Rawat Foundation partners up with local foundations because they don't have all the infrastructure needed. So they use the local foundations. And in Taiwan, we partnered with Eastern Culture Foundation and Eastern Charity Foundation to provide that food for the indigenous people. And we also have a program in Ghana. We also have a program in Nepal, in Dading. And we're looking at other big food for program, and in fact I'm working on a solution that will spread the food and this whole consciousness of having good clean food and basic hand washing before food and so on and so forth, that this would benefit a very, very broad range of communities in these places.
Terrific. Another program under the foundation I would like to mention is the Peace Education Program. I was fascinated when I learned this is a program actually for prisons. And this is something, of course, for people, inmates, and then for them to learn about peace. And may I ask first, how many prisons around the world have you been to because of the program?
Well, I've been to quite a few. First of all, let me just correct you in this.
Please.
The Peace Education Program actually covers a very wide variety of social facet. Right. It is included in universities, police, army, it goes to prisons, it goes to retirement homes, it is actually going to veterans who are coming from the wars, it goes to gangs who want to leave that
this is a program
behind.
For the whole society at large. Yes.
It's amazing. It's an amazing program. Yes. And the prison one has been incredibly received. Right now there's 2,000 programs and 113,000 inmates in 6 continents that are getting benefit from the Peace Education Program. And this isn't just a one-way thing where it's like they just listen and that's it. In fact, there are statistics to prove that people who go through the Peace Education Program have the lowest rate of return back to the prison system. And this is why so many of the officials in the prison are very fascinated by this system. I mean, it actually works. It's not just some,
fancy talk.
It actually works. And this is what is being the impetus that drives this in so many of the prisons and so many inmates. And in fact, when prisoners do come back, when they go, let me get on that program again. I think I missed something, but let me get on that program again. So it's really fascinating.
Besides the program, for the Peace Education Program and also for the Food for People, any other activities or programs under the foundation that you're currently promoting, to let more people learn about your message of peace?
Well, it isn't just about the message of peace. It is because the foundation is trying to look at both things, saying, look, yes, you need peace, but you also need some human needs need to be taken care of. And so it's trying to balance that. And so whatever is needed, we keep our ears open. There's a lot of times when you have natural disasters. And these disasters, people are there, and so whatever help we can provide, whether it is food, whether it is physical help that we can provide, we do. And we do this without looking at, the different boundaries of the countries or looking at the different religions or this. No, it's totally, impartial. All of this, not biased by anything, and it just goes out and tries to make a difference in people's lives. And it's not like because we helped you, now you join the Peace Education Program. No. No commitments, no pressure, no conversions. Whatever you want to do, our privilege to help you. And that's where it comes from.
And I would suppose a lot of people who are watching our program today are, first fascinated by, by what you're, discussing, but also at the same time, they will ask, if I want to get in touch with the Prem Rawat Foundation, whether it's a volunteer or maybe I have needs that, my community has needs, I would like to ask for assistance. How would they get in touch with you? For example, do you have a, chapter in Taipei, in Taiwan?
There's one simple way, which is tprf.org.
Directly on the internet?
Absolutely, absolutely, directly. And you can go on that site, and it has the different projects that are going on, and way to be able to connect, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's
It's an open platform. Yes.
Open platform driven by people for people.
Okay.
That's the way it has to be. It's not a room full of good deed doers who come up with all the ideas and then say, well, we're going to help you whether you like it or not. No, this is people driven.
Yes.
For people.
All right.
And this is how it works.
And Mr. Rawat, this time you're in Taiwan, like I mentioned earlier, that you went to Hualien and you gave a speech. And what was the speech about? And that was the second trip that you've been to Hualien. Has your second trip made any difference in terms of your perception of the place as well as of the people?
Yes. After the first trip, I mean, there was not that many people that came. It was one event. But then, this time, it was so many more people. In fact, we had to do the event twice. The hall wasn't big enough, so we had to do the event twice.
Okay.
The message is always the same. Message is about your potential and the possibility of peace in one's life, in your life. And that's what people came to hear. And there were students there, and there were elderly people there, there were rich people there, there were poor people there. These divisions, of course, we make, not them.
Okay.
And people come, and it's a simple, simple message. It is about you and your possibility.
Okay.
Not what you could achieve in this world, but what already you have. Not what you should have, but what you already have. And that's the fundamental difference. Because a lot of people are saying, you're no good till you get here, and let me help you get here. And I'm saying, no, 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 no. You're good. You are good. You, today, you are alive. This day for you was brought to you by the courtesy of 4.54 billion years. That's how long it was in the making.
Yes.
You are on this planet Earth. There is a blessing every moment that comes to you. Are you aware?
Okay. So that was the message. What was the response from people who listened to you this time at Hualien?
I think the response was incredible, and I'm going to be receiving a lot of those comments.
Of course.
But so many of the students, I mean, they're young students, and it was so great to see these fellow pilot students there, because I love flying. I'm a pilot, so and
Really?
they like flying, and so they were there. And so it was just wonderful to see these aspiring pilots who like flying too.
Good. And Mr. Rawat, we have about a minute left in this part of the program. And given the fact that you have so many people, especially young people, listen to you this time, but you understand that, recently, not just in Taiwan, for many of the youth around the world, many different parts, they have a sense of uncertainty regarding their future. The forces of globalization, the economic, ups and downs, sort of dampen their outlook on their career or future prospects. And what would you then say to them? There are a lot of negative things, like you said, happening, conflicts. People don't trust each other, don't connect each other, and then amidst all these signs of uncertainty, what is your message to the youth of the world, not just Taiwan?
My message is, come from the power, from the strength that you have. And your future, whichever way it goes, will be secure. If you come from weakness, about the self, I'm not talking about ideas, but about the self. What makes Jeep a Jeep? It is because it is able to endure so much more. That's what the difference has to be. Be that being that is fulfilled in oneself, so that whatever you have to endure, it's okay.
That is a very enlightening message to the youth, only not in Taiwan, but around the world. We need to take the... Mr. Rawat, we were talking about the different programs available under the, the foundation, and we're also talking about the huge amount of resources that you have dispersed to different people, community, and organizations around the world when they apply for assistance relief. And let me ask you, how do you then work with this large network of local organizations like governmental organizations, NGOs, and civic organizations, and try to provide the assistance and the relief to people in their particular community, and also in the process learn more about your message?
Well, the most important thing for us is to make sure that whatever we do truly is going to benefit the people. Okay. So even when people tell us, we need this kind of help or this kind of help, we have to make an assessment. Are we qualified to give this kind of help? And is this really going to help? This isn't a feel-good type of charity where it's like, well, I gave $25. I don't know what happened to it, but I gave $25, so I feel fine. My job is done. No. This is more about how to bring that help to the people who truly, truly, truly need. Okay. And one of the things is that, one meal a day makes that difference.
Yes.
But it has to be a meal that they can eat, that they're used to.
Yes.
It cannot be some, foreign food that they have no idea what to do with. And they won't eat it.
No.
Because it's like, well, what is this? Now, I'm hungry. I want something delicious.
Yes.
And that's what we give them. We give them good, clean, nutritious food.
Okay.
Or if it's blankets that they need, or if it's eye care. So this is what's important,
Yes.
Eye care. It's important so they can see, to see this beautiful world around them and enjoy. So these are the programs that we like to get involved with.
Okay.
And the most amazing thing is, like I said before, it is people getting involved for people. So it's by people, for people.
Yes.
And when people get into helping each other, the dynamics of it is just
incredible.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay. And given the fact that, we say that you have, abundant supply of resources, but the resources must be limited, right?
Very.
So people, when they come to you and then you are not able to provide the assistance they need, how do you deal with, try to, sort of soften the blow and try to, give, the message of no or reject their their demands in a very gentle way?
Well, whoever can help them, we try to point the
right direction.
Right direction, that maybe we can't help you, but maybe they can help you, or so on and so forth.
Good.
I mean, people should get help. People should not be in the misery.
No.
I mean, when you look at some of the statistics, half the world food production is wasted.
Yes. Yes.
Half. So you wonder, why are people hungry in this world? And none of this makes sense. Is there a shortage of clean water? No. But why are people dying of thirst on the face of this earth? This is a beautiful earth, and it gives us everything that we need. But it is so much misuse, so much is being thrown away in the garbage that human beings are suffering. And one of the things is, maybe it's not written in any constitution of any country, but no human being should have to suffer the basics. The basics. The very, very
fundamental
simple
human rights.
Basics.
Yes. And Mr. Rawat, let me ask you another question some people may be interested in, is that you've been speaking to audiences around the world at the very tender age of 4 or 5, and you've been to many places, you talk to many, many people. I would suppose there will come 1 or 2 occasions when people are not receptive to your message. Whether it's a message of peace, or it's a message of helping others and things. How do you then deal with people who criticize you, criticism, or people who have doubts about what you said, skepticism? How do you deal with those negative reactions?
It's a very, very interesting question.
Yes.
And it's interesting because here we are in 2014, and I have been speaking for 52 years.
Okay.
So that's 5 decades
Yes.
that I have been speaking.
Okay.
So there are critics, and so far I'm concerned, my focus in life is not to appease critics,
No.
but is to bring the message of peace to people. So yes, there have been critics. When I was 4 years of age,
Yes.
people used to criticize me. And they would say, it's not him speaking. He is only lip-syncing. It's a tape recorder playing, and he is lip-syncing. Now I know today how difficult it is to lip-sync. I've seen some actors do it. I've never done lip-syncing, but I've seen some actors doing it. And
It takes some doing.
it takes an incredible amount of doing. I was flabbergasted at the age of 4. How can adults be lying when it was me speaking? There was no question about it. And when you've been doing what I have been doing for 5 decades plus, yes, you're going to get critics.
Yes,
whether they're qualified,
no,
because they should do it for 52 years too, before they start talking about this. But my focus for 52 years has been only one and one focus. That is to bring the message of peace to as many people as I can. People said, this won't last long.
No.
Well, how about 52 years? People said, oh yeah, he's going to, fade away. Well, how about 52 years? And I am still going strong because it is about my conviction, and my conviction is that peace is possible.
Okay.
And I will do everything.
You will continue the crusade.
That I must do. Because it's important to me that people find that peace in their lives.
Okay. But let me ask you, there must have been moments that you say to yourself that, I've been devoting my life over, 50 years, to this, message of peace. And how come, still some people out there don't believe it, and don't, listen to my message carefully? Were there ever moments of, frustration? Maybe you say to yourself, oh, I've been doing this, too long, and then the people don't listen to me, then maybe it's time for me to do something else. Has there ever that moment?
Well, I would be lying to you if I said there were no moments of frustration.
Okay.
Of course there have been moments of frustration. But in those dark moments of my frustration, I have to remind myself of the commitment I made 52 years ago. And keep with it.
Okay. Yeah. And let me ask you this, Mr. Rawat. We're all, in the studio and in front of the TV, for the audiences around the world, being listening to you on the program today. And we may say that, Mr. Rawat, we have problems, whether it's with, work, with family, with friends, or whatever. But, we are unhappy, and if I may have 3 minutes of your time, Mr. Rawat, what would you say to me to let me discover my inner strength, different, things that, I have, but I don't know that I have, and try to, discover and maintain my personal happiness?
Very simply, know yourself. Yes, you have problems. But you have an inner strength. Yes, you have doubts, but you have clarity inside of you. Yes, you have problems, but you also have the solutions. All that you are looking for. You see, you have not discovered your strength. You have discovered all your shortcomings. Because you kept going to the mirror and closing your eyes. And you kept imagining what the mirror would show. Now, open your eyes and look at the mirror. The picture is not that bad. It's in fact wonderful. It is beautiful. I mean, of all things that you could be awarded, you have been awarded life. You are alive. There's a little story that I give. There was an old man who was walking down with a huge load of wood on his shoulders. And he was crouched over a young man went over to him and said, "Old man, you have lived for a long time. What advice do you have for me?"
Yes.
Kind of like what the question you asked.
Yes.
And the old man looked at him, the young man, took the load, put it down, stood up straight.
And said?
Said nothing.
Really?
And then took the load, put it back, crouched over, and kept walking.
Right.
We carry the load in the back of our own selves. Okay. We are not looking at the obvious. The obvious that you're alive today.
Okay.
Do you know how to celebrate? Yeah, people go
The
party,
simple
party.
fact of life. Yes.
Celebrate life.
Okay.
Your life, your existence, your being. And you will see that when you start celebrating your life, your existence, that you will see a whole another door open up. Okay. The door not to the outside, but the door to the inside. Terrific. And when you see it, then you will understand in an instant why Socrates said, "Know thyself."
It's certainly been a pleasure and an honor to have you on the program today, Mr. Rawat. I want to wish you and the foundation all the best in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you and to your audience.
Those are very exciting 48 minutes today on the program. Thank you. I want to thank you for watching our program today. I'll see you next time on Macroview Television. Thank you.